Hi, Aaron. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Perfect. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. How's the baby?
Good. I think she might actually be asleep right now, so
Ooh.
might take a sleep
Hopefully
in.
this is like a lullaby and it keeps
We're like
her
down in the bottom corner of the basement, so I think I'll be okay. But
nice. It's like fingers crossed. Hopefully she
yeah,
stays
for
asleep.
real, for real.
Aw. Alrighty. Well, how is your voice feeling this week?
Pretty good.
That's good to hear.
Trying to think like so. Usually I wake up in the morning and I sing in the shower, and that's like
Yeah.
my definitely one of my practice times.
Yeah, waking up the voice, warming it
Yeah,
up. That's a great time to do it with all the steam and breathing
but I
that
didn't do it
in.
this morning
Oh,
because the
okay.
baby's sleeping. So.
Right. And you're
So
like,
we'll
okay,
see
gotta be
if,
quiet.
yeah, exactly. So we'll see if, but it feels good otherwise. I,
Good.
uh,
Alrighty. So we're gonna sing now. So it's all good. We're gonna
yeah,
we're gonna get it
exactly.
warmed up, get it moving. Maybe you were just like, I'm gonna be warming up right now anyway, so don't want to wear out the instrument ahead,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Perfect. Alrighty, so what would you say if you picked one main goal for today? What do you think that would be?
Oh, I don't know.
Hey, that's fair.
Maybe, maybe, well, I think I have like one overarching goal, which
Sure.
is even though I've sung in front of you like, I don't know, four, five, six different classes now, I still don't sing like, I still don't let myself
Oh,
actually sing. I feel like I
like
still,
full out.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So that's probably one of them. And then the other one I would say
fair.
is opening on the right note, like
Okay.
entering the song, entering the first line on the right note. I feel like,
Right.
especially this week, I found myself because I've been singing more without any music or like,
Oh, a cappella. Yeah.
yeah. So like walking
That's
around with the
harder.
baby and singing. And then I realized like, I'm not, I don't feel like I get to the right.
Confident with the entrance.
Yeah. Until I'm
Yeah,
like
the
the third line, I'm
opening.
like, okay, that sounds about right. But the first
Mm,
line, I'm like, I want
right.
yeah,
It's like, wait, what key am
yeah.
I
How do
in?
I open this? Yeah,
Right, getting started. Yeah. Acapella is a lot harder because all of that tuning comes from within. So, there's something we call pre-phonetary tuning, which is just a fancy word for saying hearing the notes in your head before you actually sing them. So you kind of listen in your head, sing it in your head, use your imagination. So, if I'm doing Mary Had a Little Lamb, I'm gonna in my head. Before I sing it, I'm gonna hear it in my head first. So that can be really helpful, taking a moment to just it's almost like you're singing it, but it's imaginary singing it in your
yeah,
mind. So it's like a daydream, right? That you're gonna envision yourself singing that first line before you actually do, so that then when you come in, you're very confident. There was a really, really cool study they did with bodybuilders. This actually does matter for this, where they had one group actually do the workouts they usually would do in the gym
yeah,
for like many weeks. And then they had another group that they said, okay, you're going to stop going to the gym. The time you normally would spend in the gym, instead, you're going to visualize yourself doing everything you would normally do in the gym. So they had to not physically do it, but just in their mind, visualize the entire workout they typically would be doing at the gym.
yeah,
At the end of the study, they found that the bodybuilders who used visualization, they actually had significantly more muscle mass built in that time period than the people who were physically in the gym doing it.
that's
So, what
wild.
we learned from this study is our brains are super powerful.
Yeah, yeah,
Two, your mind, if you see or think yourself doing it, it thinks you're doing it. So, for instance, even like my counselor, she for a little while was like, I want you to watch TV shows and movies with really strong, powerful female leads. She was like, not like fantasy, like Charmed, where they're like magical powers or something. She was like, real women who are strong, confident, powerful women. And she was like, this is going to literally, as you're watching it, you are living it in your mind with the character. It's as though you are going through that with them. And she was like, it will actually teach your brain that you are strong and confident and powerful and self-assured and you got this, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like a self-confidence boosting thing. So if you, before you sing the note, in your mind, imagine everything going right.
Okay.
You're going to watch everything in your mind going right. You're going to hear it in your head. You're going to, see yourself singing it out confidently. You're going to hear that note. And then when you do it, it should help. Yeah. So we're
Okay.
going to try to use that pre-phonetary tuning where you hear it in your mind and then you do it. And when I first was trying to do this, it was a little bit tricky for me to just imagine it. So sometimes I would sort of try to imagine it and also kind of hum along with it at the same time.
Okay.
And then I would try to be like, okay, now confident. Because it was just a little tricky to
Yeah.
do that exercise. As a singer, I was like, how do I do pre-phonetary tuning? How do I just imagine it? What?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, I was just like, I don't get it, but it's all good.
All
When I was
right. I'll
much
try
younger, as I
it.
get older, I get more like, I don't care, I'll go for it. So,
Do you imagine it how you think your voice should sound or how it's originally done?
that's a good question. So, I would say I imagine the ideal of what I want to do. So rather than thinking like, here's what I'll probably sound like, or thinking of like, this is the original singer who has a different instrument than I do,
Yeah.
I try to think like, this is my ideal, perfect performance where everything goes flawlessly and I am just the pinnacle of what I can be. So,
Okay.
so I try to envision it as myself, but being the most amazing version of
I
myself.
feel like I need to like download one of those AI apps that plays your like sings a song for you so that I can hear what ideal me sounds
Oh,
like.
right, like
Because I can't
covers.
even really imagine, you know what I mean? It's hard for me to even imagine
Yeah. So for
what
right
I'm capable of.
now, maybe
Yeah.
you kind of have to use another person
Yeah.
because you're like, I don't even know what that sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah.
In undergrad, so my voice teacher was very like, don't listen till you've learned the song. But I am a very strong auditory learner, so I don't totally agree with that. Like he was like, "Oh, don't listen. You want to learn it just as yourself." But then I felt
Mm.
very like I don't know what I'm striving for, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so I found some singers that I was like, I want to sound like this person, right? So
Okay.
I was like, okay, I don't want to sound like this one or this one or this one. This would be, they were people with a similar voice type to mine
Okay.
who also had the type of sound I
Oh,
was
yeah.
striving for. And so I had to kind of search around to find them. And then once I did, I was like, all right, I'm going to listen to as much of them singing as I possibly can because I would kind of absorb that. And as I would listen to the recordings, I would kind of envision myself, visualize myself doing it, doing exactly what they were doing with the expression and the beautiful technique and and imagine myself performing it flawlessly, looking
Okay.
amazing on a beautiful stage somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And so I would just kind of like channel that. Um Renee Fleming says that when she was young, she would go over to her voice teacher's house, and her voice teacher had a ton of vinyl. So she would just like lay on the floor and just like listen and absorb all these great singers and just kind of like, let it wash over her and just soak
Yeah.
it all up. She'd just spend hours over there just listening to records. Um, and so I think that can be really, really valuable, um, particularly for strong auditory learners. Um, I've got students who are like extremely strong thinkers, people who are very kinesthetic, but for me, I'm very, very strong audio learner. So that is very helpful to me. I would just like, say I had to memorize a song for a class and I was like, oh, crud muffin, I didn't practice this. I have to sing it in class in 5 hours. I would just listen to it over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. I do
And
that.
I usually would have it by the
I
time I
do that.
got
I
there.
think I just don't know how to, I'm still learning how to make my voice sound good. But
Fair. Right.
yeah,
Like how to translate that into, but what am I doing? And I
yeah,
think I think a big part of that is getting to know your instrument because probably you know what you want to do, but the execution of it is still like, I don't know how to make my voice do that thing I want to do
yes,
and keep it consistent and reliable and that it's always
yeah,
there. So sometimes it's kind of like a sport kind of a thing. I had a swim coach who he would videotape us doing our strokes and then he'd show it to us. And then he'd be like, okay, you see how your elbow isn't like getting high enough?
hmm,
He'd be like, okay, I want you to like keep your arm really close to your body, lift that elbow, point it up to the sky. You're going to drag those fingertips along the water, shoot that arm forward, keep that hand cupped and do it again,
yeah.
and slide down
The
right next
E
to your
comes
body.
out, and yeah,
Exactly, like all the very intricate techniques. And if we could actually see ourselves doing it, we were like, oh, that's what I'm doing. Okay. And then he'd even sometimes show us a video of like, this is what we want to do.
yeah,
And that would help us to get a better understanding. In a dance class, you physically can see in the mirror, oh,
right,
this is what I'm doing. This is what my teacher's doing. This is what my neighbor's doing. Oh, okay. So I need to adjust that angle. Or, oh, my hand looks weird. Okay, let's make a beautiful shape with that. Oh, I'm not extending enough. So it just looks like limp and not energized, right? So those kind of things you can visually see. Singing is a little bit trickier because we don't have any of those visual cues. So
which
we
is a
have to do
bummer.
things.
I'm really good
Yeah,
at
right.
that.
But there are ways that you can check yourself. So one thing I like to do is I'll play just like one line of an artist singing. And then I'll go, okay, what are they doing? So I'll literally like pick out the notes. Maybe it's just like a contemporary song on the radio. So there's not sheet music or anything. Um, so one song I worked with a student yesterday on, October Sky by Yeba. My goodness, like that girl, vocal agility, just like vocal acrobatics. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
just like, wow, okay. Um, and so we've gotten through the whole song now. Yesterday we finished it, but it's like we would take one phrase and be like, all right, let's listen to just that phrase. What is she doing? And so we'd pick out exactly what notes she's doing. And then we'd go, okay, is this warmer? Is it brighter? Is she kind of bitey here? Is it a little more like, ooh, like flute like
yeah,
here? She does all these different things with her voice. Sometimes she's like changing the vowels, kind of like chewy feeling. Like at the start of the song, she's very like light and floaty and flute-like. Then later at the end, it gets more like intense and builds. It's a little more belty. She has moments that are very like bright, bitey kind of feeling. Um, and just so many riffs all through the song. And that's not
yeah,
even her hardest song to sing.
yeah. Okay.
And it's like, woo, it's definitely a workout. And so just line by line, listening and then trying to sing it back and go, okay, how is that similar to what she did? How is that different? And so if you're doing that at home, you can record yourself and then play it back. and go, what am I hearing? Oh, okay, I was a little flat on this one note. Oh, I left out this other note of the riff. Okay, I got to add that back in. Oh, that rhythm is a little different when she does it. Okay, I need to clean that up. So that's more like a da da da. Okay, instead of like a
Yeah.
da 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 da. And then I'm like, okay, I'll fix that next time. And it's like, okay, so my vowels are not matching hers. She gets a little like wider and more spread there, a little like whiny on that couple notes. And then she goes back to that warmer, richer sound as she finishes the phrase. Okay, so then I like process all of that and I'm like, here's what I did, here's what she does. All right, now I'm going to try it again. And I just try to like work on it that way where it's like, I'll go, what did I do? What am I trying to do? All right, so I need to tweak those couple things. Let's do it again. And I'll go through it. And if you're not sure what you sound like one of my students, she's very like, I know what I sound like. And I'm like, all righty then.
I wish
I
I had
feel like I
that.
don't always know what I sound like. And
Yeah.
so recording myself is very, very helpful. One of my students, he's gearing up to sing at his wedding. And
Oh,
so
nice.
in his lesson, I did like a little video of him recently because I was like, I want you to see physically, like, what am I doing with my vowel shapes? Am I tightening here? Am I bringing my head forward or like reaching up for the notes? And also the performance aspect as well. He could see what he's doing with his breath and his core. And he was like, oh, that really helped. He was like, it's uncomfortable to watch, but he was
Yeah.
like, oh, I got a lot of really good insights from that, things I didn't realize I was doing. And he was like, now it makes sense why like this one spot is more challenging because I'm like straining and like tightening in here during that so
Okay.
that recording yourself at first can be really uncomfortable when you haven't heard yourself because we hear ourselves differently in our head than when we're recorded. When I first was being recorded in lessons and like listening back, I was just like, oh, I was like,
Yeah,
do I really sound like this?
I listened to last week's because I felt like leaving your place. I felt like, man, I think I feel like I sang pretty well today, actually.
Yeah.
And I listened to it and I was like,
Oh, right.
ugh.
Well, part of that is that we sound so different in our head,
Yeah,
what we're processing, because the way our ears are built, we're not getting, that like original sound if we were
yeah.
standing in front of each other. We're also feeling these vibrations internally. It just adjusts how we hear it. So we don't always know exactly what we actually sound like
So can we make
to other people.
our external voices sound like our internal voices, or are there some things that I'm hearing internally that I'm probably not actually capable of hitting?
Mm, so what we hear in our head is different than the reality of what is actually coming out to the audience,
Right.
which is where recording yourself will give you an accurate idea of that. Have you seen those things where it's like the real mirror? We see ourselves flipped
Yeah.
to how the world actually sees us in like a
Oh,
mirror in
yeah.
a photo, right? So
Yeah.
when people see themselves in the real mirror that shows them like the actual thing other people see, they're like, "Oh, that's weird." Right?
Hmm.
Because they're
I
like,
haven't
"I
seen that.
am
I'll have
not
to look.
used to that." Yeah, so it's a little bit like that where it's just we don't perceive ourselves that way. So it's going to be a new feeling of like, ooh, okay, all right, this is what I sound like. This is my voice. And just getting used to listening to yourself. Um, the same kind of thing for like film actors. They, back in old school Hollywood, they would have them work in front of a mirror. They would give them these cards with facial expressions. They'd say, try to make this facial expression. This facial expression conveys this emotion.
Right.
You could be thinking, oh, I thought I was really sad. But then people are like, no, you seemed really angry.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. You know, you practice these facial expressions and they're going to communicate that particular thing. So they had to get used to looking at their facial expressions, looking at video reels of
Yeah.
themselves, studying what they're doing, what works, what doesn't work. So that's what we're doing is we're studying what do I actually sound like? What is my voice? We can't change our actual instrument. We can change how we play it, how we use it. So getting to where it's like, all right, this is my voice. I accept that. I love it. I embrace it. right?
Yeah.
Which can be a little bit tricky to do at first. And then from there, it's just how do I play this instrument more skillfully, right? So, my voice may be a trumpet, whereas someone else's is a flute and someone else's is a cello. And it's like,
Mine's a
all right.
symbol.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like all of us are beautiful parts of the orchestra,
Yeah.
right? We're all important, beautiful instruments. It's just that we're different from each other. We can
Yeah.
play in ways that can sort of emulate and take on like characteristics of another instrument, but we can't actually change the instrument itself. So
Yeah.
getting to where you're like, I accept my instrument. I
So,
love my
okay.
instrument. It's part of me. And then using it more skillfully. So you did listen. I love that you did that. I'm sorry that you felt like, oh, I
Well,
feel like that's everyone's initial reaction.
yeah. I'm trying to be like gentle with myself because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is just you singing in a room on an
Hmm.
iPhone.
Hmm.
So like probably
Quality is not
process it
great
would sound
either.
better, but
Yeah.
or like
It's just a learning tool, a
yeah.
little resource. Yeah.
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 It's not like,
But
we recorded you on the Dolby On app and we added like
yeah.
compression and noise reduction and
Yeah.
reverb.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice?
We could do that.
Maybe. Maybe it would.
When you're
I have two quick
listening to
questions.
like mixed studio stuff, that's not what they actually sound like.
Yeah. Yeah. I have two quick questions and then I know
Yes.
let's sing.
Yeah, let's sing.
So I was trying to, I think one of the ways that is easier for me to practice right now is unfortunately like in the shower or driving or like walking around the yard. It's kind of like always paired with something just because I'm either working or
Oh yeah.
chatting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to make like a wider playlist of songs that will
Ooh,
let
yeah.
me just sort of keep going and like so I try to do like one or two practices where it's like one song and I repeat it, but then the rest of it is just like
Mm.
singing and trying to match the notes when I get a chance. So
Yeah.
what I was trying to figure out is how do I figure out what my voice type? And I know that you don't like putting anyone in buckets, but but if I wanted to identify like my voice types and my range so that I could
Yeah.
find other artists and
It's
songs like
helpful.
that,
Yeah.
how would I do that?
Okay. So the way that we classify voice types is based on where your register shifts happen, where those little breaks fall.
Yeah,
And so that when you work on a particular song, the key is dictated on like where do those breaks fall and how do I sing in a key where it's like I go through those less, right? If I have a key where I just sit right on top of the break, I can do it. It just won't be as comfortable. And it might
yeah,
still sound lovely to the audience, but it's going to be a lot more work for me as a singer.
right.
So, that's how we dictate the actual voice type. Range is not actually a good indicator of like, are they a good singer? It also isn't necessarily a good indicator of what voice type they are. I know of a mezzo soprano who regularly sings higher than a soprano that I know. She's like, I sing more in that like usual mid range, like second soprano kind of range. And she's like, that's where I'm comfortable. I don't do the like high C coloratura type stuff. And that's perfectly okay. That's her voice type. Um, but it's based on where her register breaks fall, right? Whereas the mezzo is like, oh, I can stretch way up there. I can sing high C's all day. But based on where her register breaks are, she's classified as a mezzo soprano. So it's actually not based on range. It's more based on where those little breaks or bridges fall,
Okay.
especially with male singers. Part of why I don't always classify is because I'm like, I want you to feel free to sing like baritone and tenor songs. Part of that is because baritones, they can learn to kind of sing similarly to a tenor by learning to use that head voice and whistle register, that falsetto-y land. Um, it won't have the same sound quality as a tenor. Tenors are going to feel a little more like clean and clear and like full up higher there, whereas a baritone is going to sound a little more like that falsetto sound. Um, so that's part of how you can tell if it's like a tenor range and the male is having to switch into their falsetto or whistle register, then you go, okay, that's a baritone, that's fine. A lot of people talk about baritenors where it's like they can kind of play both. But the baritone is going to be more comfortable lower and have a more full sound lower. And it's going to be a little bit lighter up high. Whereas the tenor is going to have a little bit of a thinner, weaker, like softer sound low and a stronger presence up high. So
Okay.
there are like little clues, even if you're like, I don't know where my breaks happen. A bass is pretty obvious because that's like the
They're like, whoa, whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
Josh Turner, long
Yeah.
black train, baby, lock the door. Turn the lights
Yeah.
down low.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. So that one's pretty obvious to
Yeah.
us.
I don't think I'm that one.
Hmm. Yeah. So when we think of people who are like really, really strong up high, like big, belty, clean, clear tone up there, who are a couple artists you can think of that have a really strong tenor voice who are male?
Uh, maybe Benson Boone, or is that lower?
No, that's fair. He definitely goes higher and is strong up there. Um, I would, so when thinking of like really great tenors that are contemporary, I would probably say like Michael Jackson's a really good
Okay.
example, Freddie Mercury, Bruno Mars, Ed
Okay.
Sheeran, Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake is a great example. So thinking of, like really iconic singers. Um, so
What
yes,
like
but yes, Benson
Elton
Boone I
John?
would say is a tenor because um I feel like he's got probably like three octaves that he sings in pretty regularly. He does use his falsetto, but he also, based on like the range and like in Beautiful Things, he's so strong in the top. So yes, I would think of him as a tenor voice. So when we think of baritone singers, who would you guess would be like a pretty iconic
Uh,
baritone? Michael Bublé is a great example. Kane Brown, Luke Bryan, Zach
okay.
Bryan would be a good one. Why am I listening to all these country singers? What about like other
I was trying to
other
think of
ones?
yeah, like I've listened to a lot of like
Louis
classic rock.
Armstrong would have been a baritone. James Bay. Mm, Pat
Um,
Boone would have been. David Bowie.
okay.
Louis Capaldi.
Okay. So it's
Um,
really like the middle, like baritone is like really middle. Like
Leonard
okay,
Cohen. Eric Clapton would have been.
that's a good example for me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harry Connick Jr. would have been. Bing Crosby would have been. Oh, he's like one of the great
Yeah.
baritones. Neil Diamond would have been an example. Drake, Bob Dylan,
Okay.
mm,
See, I almost
Zac
would have put
Efron
Bob
is
Dylan
a good
higher.
example if you've seen
I
him in like High School Musical and stuff.
actually have not. My wife still makes fun of me for not never seeing that. I think
It's
it's
all
much
good.
late now.
Michael Feinstein, Great American Songbook. Mick Jagger would be an example. Josh Groban, Jimi Hendrix,
I was actually thinking about Jimi Hendrix and
John Mayer.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, so a lot of really good, you know, examples. Elvis was. He's one of the bigger ones. Billy Idol, Hozier. Yeah, Frank
What about Billy
Sinatra
Joel?
was a baritone.
What about Billy Joel?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're getting kind of like, oh, Harry Styles would be a more like contemporary person. That would be Uncle Cracker, Smile, you know?
I love that song.
I do
Okay.
too. Yeah, I had
So
friends who would make fun of me because they'd be like,
really?
oh my gosh, Uncle Cracker.
I mean,
And I'd
it's
be
not
like,
the
what?
best
It's a great
name.
song.
I didn't name
Yeah,
him, but
exactly. So yeah, John Mayer's like a, really famous one that everybody knows.
yeah. So what am I?
Based on those singers, who would you get? What would you guess?
I would get definitely guess baritone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So sometimes an easier way to do it is to say, who am I similar to? Who is my voice similar to? And then what are they? Right? But so yes, in the like range of things, typically bass is going to be a lot lower. Baritone's going to be more in the middle, and then tenors are going to be the ones who are up high. In female vocals, we have contraltos, which are like our basses, basically. Mezzo sopranos are going to be the middle. Sopranos are going to be the high. Um, our voices technically, like vocal folds are the same, the way they move are the same, but the sensations, the way we feel things are a little bit different, and that's okay. Um, so yeah, like for a pedagogy perspective, the way I'll teach you is going to be a little bit different or quite a lot different than how I would teach a soprano, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
that's okay, right? And also learning styles will play into that. Stylistic elements of the music you're singing is going to play into that. So, yeah, based on like artists that you've said, I feel like my voice is similar to this. My voice feels comfortable in these songs. Absolutely the baritone, but then also based on where your breaks fall, because that is the primary thing. Sometimes people will be like, I'm more comfortable low, and they're actually a soprano. So they're singing a bunch of mezzo songs and like belter songs. And it's just because they've exercised that chest voice muscle so much more than that head voice muscle. So
I feel
sometimes
like
we run into that.
that's kind of my kind of me. Like I
Mhm.
feel more comfortable low. I want to sing higher.
Which
That's
you are capable. Yeah.
yeah.
But
So
in order to sound more like a tenor, you have to get comfortable with that head voice muscle and your whistle register or falsetto. I call
right.
whistle register falsetto. It's falsetto is vague. Some people use it for head voice, some people use it to mean whistle register. So that's
Okay.
why I always clarify. Um, but yeah, it's you can sound similar to a tenor and you can sing their songs. You just have to use different vocal techniques than they have to. Um, it's it's really, really normal what you're saying. So male voices have a much smaller mixed voice than a female voice. We have about an octave to an octave and a half where we're mixing. We have no choice but to mix. Male singers, a lot of the time, they just avoid the mix. They're like, I don't want to do that. So they'll just like hop over it.
Yeah.
And so you'll hear artists like Benson Boone does some beautiful things. We were just talking about that song. He's like really low and then he just suddenly is really high and he doesn't
Yeah.
really go through the middle, right?
Yeah.
He just kind of jumps. And you're gonna see that sometimes where artists will write their music on purpose where they're like, I don't have to mess with that little register
Yeah.
shift there. Um, which is actually pretty smart. In undergrad, my first year, I like picked only songs where I was like, I'll just avoid the break. And then my teacher was like, I know what you're doing, stop it. And then he made me do like a full year of he was like, all we're gonna do is songs that just sit on your break and you're gonna conquer it. And I was like, dang it.
But then you conquered it, I'm sure.
I had to.
Yeah. All
Yes,
right, let's
because it's
sing.
all we worked on. Yes. So we have to keep working on strengthening that head voice muscle for you. Yeah.
Okay.
And we just
Yeah.
have to get you comfortable using it. Once that muscle is stronger, we can get them working together and get a more solid mix. So they're supporting. A male mix can be like four notes, it's like a
Yeah.
much smaller window, but it's still important.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to try to conquer that. All right. So especially earlier in the day when you're first singing, try to go low first. That's going to help your
Right.
body to release hydration to your vocal folds, both internally and externally. Try to like go down to like your vocal fry, get that all moving. All right,
Okay.
so we're going to start just sustaining on a single note. I'm going to make sure I've got my sound settings where you can hear everything clearly. Oops. I gotta turn up the volume here. You won't be able to hear that. Okay. We're gonna start nice and low, and we're gonna do on a hum first, and then you'll open up to an E. So a E. So right now you're gonna channel that like nice, deep,
Deep
rich
voice.
Josh Groban big
Me.
bass. Yeah.
All right.
Me. Yeah, and if you want to move, like wiggle out any tightness, that's great. Let's do half steps. So breathing in. Me. Try to be aware of any like physical sensations. I feel lots of vibrations down
I
in
feel all
here.
three.
Perfect. Breathing in. Me. Good. Breathing in. Me. Breathing in. Me. Me. Breathe. Me. Breathe. Me. Me.
Like that might be my
You're
range.
feeling it's like,
Yeah.
oop, right on
Yeah.
that little connecting
I
bridge
felt like it was going
moment.
like the pitch was going up and down on me.
Right. It's a little wobbly. It's like walking a tightrope, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to fall this way or this way.
Yeah.
But
That's
like being
exactly
right
how it feels
on it
actually. It's
is
like,
tricky.
yeah.
Yeah. So there, and your instinct is going to be to avoid. Your instinct is going to be, okay, avoid that, go around it, go above it, go below it, go around it. And we can't do that. That is unfortunately never going to work for us. So, what we have to do is, I want you to think of, so Italians called it the passaggio, which means the passageway. And the way they described it is, it's like you have a big open room, you have a narrow passageway, and then another big open room. And so when you're going through those little bridge moments, those little transition moments, you are going to have to feel like you're like squeezing
That
through this
narrow.
narrow
Yeah.
passageway. Some people talk about threading the eye of a needle. And the reason they do that is because you need a very, very clear, specific focus with your airflow. So I want you to think of right in the sticky spot, right in the spot your voice wants to avoid. You're going to place a bullseye right in it. So it's like darts. You're playing darts. And you're going to take that air, attach it to a dart, and you're going to shoot it right to that bullseye, right through the sticky spot. And think like laser pointer precision with this. And it's like right into the sticky spot, okay?
All right.
So that note again. Good. Sometimes it can help to be softer on that note. Sometimes it can help to be louder on that note. Sometimes it can help to try different vowels on that note.
Okay.
So playing with it, usually the E is a little easier to feel the sensations and find the like placement or shape and the feeling of that vowel on that pitch. Alrighty,
Okay.
let's try the next note up.
Mhm.
All right, half step up. We're just like inching up. It's not like a full step, a little baby step.
Oh, all right. Hold on. Repeat that
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So that for me is where my switch, like I feel myself on that line you were talking about with the D
Yeah.
flat. On E flat is where I feel mine, and I'm like, oop, there we go. I'm
Yeah.
getting to that, right? So we have to adjust, and your little transition, it may not be just one note. It could be like a few notes, and in this little window, it's a little bit awkward for a moment.
Yeah.
Try that one again. The hum is going to help you feel the sensation of what do the vocal folds need to do. Then when you
Okay.
open up to the vowel, you feel what do I need to do with the shape. Okay,
Okay.
breathing in.
Mm.
Ah, it's a little bit higher now. So you are going to have to feel a little elongation and a little lightening of the vocal fold pressure. That adduction, we are pressing more firmly together. Now we're going to lighten that pressure a bit. All right, so breathing in. All
Like I
righty.
feel low, maybe. But
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, your instinct, and we were talking about how that muscle is stronger, so it wants to kind of like pull and be like,
Dominated.
no,
Yeah.
I want to use this one more. But we have to say, nope, I need to rely more on that head voice feeling. Yeah, so it's like, oh, okay, I got to use that. All right, so same one again, breathing in. All right. Now we're going to go up a little bit higher. Now remember, these can be kind of wobbly. You can have like wobbles, cracks, pops on these. It's not really a problem. It's just telling us something important. The voice is communicating with us. Those muscles are saying, "Oop, this is awkward. I'm not comfortable. I'm not used to this." And that's okay. All right. So
Mhm.
hear the note, hum it. All right. So we have to think a little bit more head voice involvement. Can we think as you breathe in, think of opening up that palate almost like a yawn? Feel that stretch of a yawn. Yeah. You feel the difference there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, so as
All
you
right.
breathe in, open that space, try that me again. Breathing in.
Can you play the note one more time? Sorry.
Yes. Feel that?
Yes.
It's different. Yes, good.
Like I feel like I opened the bottom of my jaw or something.
Yes, we do need more tall, open space as we get higher. And the top jaw is attached to your skull. So in order to open that, we have to go, ah. That's a lot of weight to put on that neck. It's a lot of pressure. It kind of pinches. It can close off the airflow. So we think nice and long neck in the back, and we think we start chin level at the floor. As we
Okay.
go higher, you're going to think, ah, that hinge down. That
Okay.
those top teeth, they're stationary, and you're going to hinge that jaw down. And the higher we go, the more open that needs to be. All right? Very good observation. Love that. Breathing in. All right, breathing in. All right, so that one to me felt like there's a little bit of like a lid on top. So we want to open that up a little bit more.
Okay.
So as you breathe in, think of that yawn feeling. You're gonna think of lifting that palate along with opening that jaw more. Breathing in.
Okay.
All right.
Hard for me to transition from the hum to the E without it changing, I feel like.
Right. Yeah. That is a little tricky. So all you have to do is open your mouth. So let's do to ah this time, okay?
Right.
Just open your mouth. Breathing in. Is that shape a little bit easier?
Definitely.
Excellent. Really nice. Okay, beautiful. So now we're going to get that breath moving a little bit more. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So can we try first? Let's try stick your tongue out and give me a. It's like kids on the playground going like at each other, like making the motorboat sounds in the
Yeah.
bathtub, kind of a feeling. Nice. Good. We're going to use that now. We're just going to move on a sigh. So we're going to go on.
All right.
Just sliding through, breathing in.
At least it stops. Okay. That's weird. I feel like in
Yeah.
certain spots it stops vibrating.
So that is, again, your body telling you something important. So we ask ourselves, what is causing that to stop? Is my airflow being hindered? Am I just not sending the air? Is that tightness or constriction getting in the way of that airflow? Am I getting out of alignment? Am I getting tension that's stopping that free vibration? So we have to explore that then. That tells us something important. All right, so go ahead and try that again. Breathing in. All right, let's keep going.
I feel like I'm just completely losing it. It's so weird.
It's more towards the bottom, like it starts
Yeah.
stronger. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then as we go, so it could be the range that your body's like, oh, it's kind of hard to get enough air support
Here.
there. It could
Okay.
also be subconsciously our brains think when we go lower, oh, I don't need to work that hard. So they'll send less air. So I want you to
Okay.
think about sending a really streamlined, energized, like a jackhammer in the ground, like right
Okay.
into in front of yourself with that air. Breathing in. Oh, I switched exercises. This one actually is, I think, more challenging to me than like the or the mostly because I don't work on it as much. But like having my tongue be that fat and that relaxed and just like a blob. getting myself that relaxed, but keeping my air strong is tricky. It's a tricky coordination. But that's why we're doing it to make sure
Yeah,
that we
makes
work
sense.
on those things. So if it peters out, that's okay. Try to just come back in.
All right.
Breathing in.
Cool.
All right, what are we feeling up here?
Maybe hitting the register. Yeah.
Yep. So we have
Like,
another
yeah.
transition. Yeah.
Also
Good.
feeling lightheaded.
Oh, okay. So what can be happening there is we're hyperventilating, so we're over oxygenating. So I want you to try. We're just going to exhale as much air as you've got. Use all of it up. So I'm going to give you this goal. By the end of every phrase, you want to be out of air so that you need another breath. Your body's like, oh, I
Okay.
need more. Now, it's going to feel like you're out before you are. Our body actually has a reserve of air it holds on to always because we must have constant oxygen in order to fuel us, right? So the body does have some oxygen. It's going to like hold hostage and be like, you cannot leave me. All right.
Yeah.
So we do have that. So you can trust that your body has it. And I'm going to challenge you to try to use up every bit of air you've got by the end of whatever phrase we're working through. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we are gonna try to go through this transition right now. So let's do that same exercise, but try to use up all the air so that you need air for the next phrase. You can also try taking in a little less air as well. This is part of learning to kind of plan out your breaths, your phrases, thinking, okay, so I need to do XYZ. This is a short phrase. This is a long phrase. Here I have more time to take a breath. So maybe I breathe through my nose because that's slower. Here I need a really fast little catch breath, a quick release breath. So a little sip through my mouth. That's part of learning to manage your breath well. All right. So this is definitely very normal that you're like, wait a minute, I'm feeling a little lightheaded. What am I doing? And that's okay. This is an exercise that specifically is focusing on exercising the breath. So it's very, very normal that you'd go, wait a minute, what's happening here? I'm feeling something, strange with my breath. I'm getting a little lightheaded. If you're practicing this on your own at home, you can also lie down, or you can, if you get really dizzy, like just put your head between your knees for a moment, let your head kind of like get back to normal, get yourself in a comfortable position, and try to just get rid of all of your air. And try to, exhale so that you get back to that happy, medium, normal place. All right.
All right.
Use up all the air. Okay. Breathing
Mm-hmm.
in. Is that feeling a little better?
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
yeah.
I think this translates very much into how I sing in front of you too. Because when I sing by myself and I'm not worried about how I hear sound, I will
Yeah.
sing with all my breath. But when I'm singing in front of you or in front of really
Mm.
anyone, to be honest, I like cannot commit to just doing it. So I like hold back, even if it's just like 20%,
Mm.
but then I feel like
Yeah.
I lose my, especially at the end, I like
Yeah.
trail off or something because I'm not finishing through the line.
Right. So it's more of like an anxiety, intimidation kind of a feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. That it's like, this is a little scary for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Um, and again, very, very normal to feel that way. Um, and I think part of that too is not just holding back, as in sort of like putting a mute in a trumpet kind of a feeling. Like
Hmm.
I'm trying to be a little more, less like bold and daring, and out there, you know. It also can be that when we're singing in front of other people, you're probably a little more worried about what you sound like. And
Hmm.
so when we're trying to hear ourselves better, we do this thing where we sort of like hold the sound in a bit more
Yeah.
instead of singing out. And so it's a little bit like covered sounding because we're trying to hear ourselves better. We try to like hold it in and feel those vibrations a little bit differently. But when we're singing, I want you to think always projecting up and out. You're sending that air up and out, and you have to open up and send it. So we're not keeping any of those vibrations or sound inside of us, that air inside of us. We're opening everything up and we are sending that air up and out all the time. All right, so
Okay.
that's going to be something I want you to focus on right now, okay?
All right.
Awesome. Alrighty, beautiful. I want to transition to one of our songs. We can
Okay.
continue kind of thinking about some of these exercises and things, but let's do it in the context of a song. So, what
Okay.
song do you want to start with first today?
Should I pick one song and stick with it, or should I do
Up to
very?
you. I think it can be nice to have a song that you're like, I feel really confident with this one because I've really polished it. Like Victoire was very like, oh my gosh, October Sky is so scary and intimidating. And now she was like, you know what? I've worked on it so much that now it's like a little boring and it's like too easy. And I feel like I need a new challenge. But yesterday, like it was so gorgeous. Like I teared up. I was like, oh my gosh,
Oh,
like so
I hope
beautiful.
I get to that point sometime.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, girl, I would like pay real money to come see you and like live do that. So
That's
beautiful.
awesome.
It's taken
Okay.
a lot of practice to get there, but we're
Yeah.
there. And now she's like, wow, like it's a little boring now and I need a new challenge. And I was like, heck yeah. Because when she first started, it was very scary. Right.
Yeah.
And so having a song that you're like, I'm very confident with this, I could do it in my sleep. That's a great feeling. But I also think having a good challenge is great too. So, what I would recommend is have one that's a little more challenging and then also have one that's like, the one that you're like, this is a little more like where my level is right now, and I'm gonna really polish and perfect it so that when someone's like, hey, do you wanna sing? You can be like, heck yeah, I have a song ready to go. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's just a really good feeling. To be
Okay.
like, I can do this anytime, any day, bring it on. Right.
I feel like
Um,
I'm still searching for that song. Like I
mm,
like the one. I like the Jersey Giant one that we did last time. I also like
mm,
Saturday Sun, but
okay.
I think I also like. You know the song Walking in Memphis?
Yes, I love that one. I mean, that's just
Do.
like a classic. It's a great,
Yeah.
just like
So
feel good
I have it in
song.
my head to do that.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
think
why
it's
don't we look at
also
it today?
pretty close to
I
my.
think too, like, in order to stay motivated, you've got to sing things that you enjoy. Like, we can do exercises, we can have things I assign to you that I'm like, this would just be good for you to learn. But
Yeah.
I think it's really important to pick songs that also inspire and motivate you because if you don't have that, you're never going to feel like, oh, I want to practice, you know?
Yeah.
So picking things that you're like, I just don't really connect to this song, that's not really going to help you, right? So yeah, let's take a look at it.
All right.
All
I
right?
sang it to Adeline last night and it put her to sleep. So,
Aw, that's so sweet. Yeah.
yeah.
So, it's originally Mark Cohn is a baritone. And generally I would say tenors could be pretty comfortable on this too, but he is a baritone. So I think this is a really good choice because you're hearing that, baritone kind of vibe. I think another fun one to work on that's like kind of like a feel good song is Brown Eyed Girl. I think that would be another
Mhm.
good one that you could
Yeah.
like sing to your little girl. You can always change the eye color if you want. My blue eyed girl,
Brown
right?
eyed girl.
Brown eyed girl.
All my
Yeah.
dogs have brown eyes, so I've seen
Oh,
this one.
I love
But this is actually
that.
my dad and my sister's song.
Oh,
So
sweet.
yeah,
That's really
it's been
sweet.
played a lot in our house. I
That's
love
cute.
it.
You're
So
like, I
yeah,
got that one. I know
yeah, I know that one.
it.
I
Perfect.
was
All
also
right.
born in Memphis, so
Oh,
this
that's so
one too.
cool. So this is
Yeah,
like your song then.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, nice. All right. So what we're gonna do then, since we are still kind of like getting the voice moving, and this is a brand new song, let's try focusing on the breath. We're gonna do the exercise instead, but let's do VVV. So V V V V V. So every single note, you're gonna have that breath re-engagement, and then that E is gonna give us a nice forward, bright feeling, and you're gonna feel those sensations of that vowel placement really well. All right, so and it's gonna give us a nice clear tone as well. So let's go ahead and try that. VVV throughout the song. Maybe we'll do like a verse and a chorus for right now.
Okay, so play the song, but do V.
Yeah, VVV. Yeah.
Like I need to stand this up.
Go ahead. Yeah, whatever feels good.
V V V V V V V V V V. So when you do your V's, put on my blue suede shoes.
So
You're doing
every
it.
syllable that would a word have, like if I was doing Mary had a little lamb, Mary had a, Mary had a V V V V. Every
Okay.
single syllable, I'm gonna do a V.
All right. Try this again.
If you get a little off, no big deal. It's just an exercise.
V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V D V V V V V V V V V. That's a point. I gotta like think. It's so hard for me to translate to the V in my head.
Yeah, because you're
V
used to the
V V
words.
V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V V. Right, right.
Mhm.
I realized we went past the first chorus.
You're good. You're good. All right. So, what that exercise does for us is our diaphragm, then, for every single note, is engaged. It gets
Mm.
connected on every single note. So, we don't have
Okay.
any like throwaway notes where we don't energize and support through. And the E again keeps it very forward, very present. We can feel those vibrating sensations. We have a really good awareness of where it's placed, that vowel shape.
Okay,
Excellent.
that's going to be one of the things I work on this week for sure. V.
Excellent.
V. V.
Yes.
V.
Can we try now? Let's do on the words. And I just want to kind of hear what you're doing with it, where it's at,
Okay.
okay?
All right. Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of Philadelphia blues. In the middle of the pouring rain. WC handy. Won't you look down over me? Yeah, it's got a first class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis. Was walking with my feet 10 feet off a heel. Walking in Memphis. But do I really feel the way I feel? Can you do it one more time?
Okay, nice. All right, so what are you noticing so far? The things that are feeling
All of a
good.
sudden, I feel like my air is restricted.
Ooh, and you're really aware of that because of
Yeah,
the exercises we did. It's like, wait a minute.
yeah,
Probably you reverted back to muscle memory. This is a song that you know, that you love, that you sing for fun. And so muscle memory can kick in. But if we've started developing new vocal skills, we can have a really good awareness of like, wait a minute, that's not what I want to be doing. That didn't feel right. And we're like, wait a minute. And so we're going to have to reteach our voice how to approach this song because it wants to revert back to the way you were singing it before you had these new vocal skills. So it's like,
yeah.
okay, so we got to adjust, right? All right, so what do we have to think of here? We have to think about the airflow. It needs to have free flow, unhindered. Yeah. Um, we need to also think about the connection through. So think about every word or note connecting through. I put on my blue suede. I don't remember the words.
That was
Whatever it
it.
is.
You had
And I
it.
board the plane. Right?
Yeah.
I gotta pull up the lyrics. Yeah. Walking in Memphis, more connected through as opposed to like walking in Memphis, more like
Okay.
choppy and rhythmic. I want you to think more flow. Imagine in your mind like a river, and there are lots of like rocks and logs and things in that river, obstacles, but that water just flows around it. It never stops, it just keeps finding a way. And your air needs to be like that no matter what consonant pops up and gets in the way, different shapes. That air still has to right through the phrase. Yeah? So
Okay.
it's smooth, connected, flowing. Let's try that again.
Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane in the land of the Delta Blues. In the middle of the pouring rain, WC handy. Once you look down over me, yeah, I got a first class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis. I was walking with my feet 10 feet off a Beale. Walking in Memphis. But do I really feel the way I feel? I'm gonna do the next one.
Okay.
Saw the ghost of Velvet on Union Avenue. Followed him up to the gates of Graceland. Then I watched him walk right through. Now security, they did not see him. They just hugged. Ooh, I feel like all of a sudden I got way higher pitched or something. I feel like, is that because I'm in the range and then I just skip it?
So, all right. So, do you feel like it was a change in like the instrumental, a change in how you're using your breath? What causes us to go sharp? What are we doing differently if we go sharp?
I feel like I'm cutting my air off.
Oh, interesting. So kind of like
That,
squeezing or constricting
yeah,
maybe? Kind of like your tube of air, it goes like tightens
yeah,
up and constricts.
yeah.
All right. That makes sense that you're kind of like pushing a little bit. Um, well, if we go higher, what's literally happening is the air is flowing faster. We're vibrating faster to get that pitch. So if we think of pitches, it's the frequencies. So how many vibrations we get per second. So if I have like a couple hundred vibrations per second, that's going to be pretty low. If I have 2,000 vibrations per second, that's going to be pretty high, right? So 440 is the A below middle C. So that's like a note you sing all the time. So that's 440 vibrations per second. That's crazy,
That's
right?
actually wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So what our vocal folds are doing is amazing, right?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
crazy.
how do you do that, right?
I can't even
Um,
like actually imagine.
yeah. So if you're going sharp, you're actually asking your vocal folds for even more. You're like, hey, we're going to vibrate even faster. But if you're tightening and like pushing from here, that's not going to be a comfortable or like fun way to approach those even. The more comfortable way to go faster and higher is going to be to open it up so the air can freely flow through at that faster speed. So this time, let's do like a little bobblehead kind of movement. Keep all these muscles nice and loosey goosey. Walking in Memphis. And
Walking.
remember, you don't need to vibrate as fast as you thought you needed to in this run through. Okay?
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab a water real quick because I
Go
also feel
for
like
it. Yeah.
oh my throat.
Hydration is good.
All right. Yeah. Work top, shorts on the bottom. So.
You're good. My
All right.
husband does the same thing. He works from
Yeah.
home, so
Like 90 degrees outside. I'm not wearing pants.
I know, right? It's
Get
like
real.
I can do my
Yeah.
job just as well without, right?
Yeah. Exactly. All
All
right.
right, wonderful. So, yes, so we're going to try that feeling of keeping all this nice and loose, really open, flowing, and you don't have to vibrate as fast as you just did. All righty, let's try it.
Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane in the land of the Delta Blues in the middle of the pouring rain. WC handy, once you look down over me. Yeah, I got a first class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis. I was walking with my feet 10 feet off the wheel. Walking in Memphis. But do I really feel the way I feel? Saw the ghost of velvet on Union Avenue. Followed him up to the gates of Graceland. Then I watched him walk right through. Now security, they did not see him. They just hovered round his tomb. But there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room. When I was walking in Memphis, I was walking with my feet 10 feet off the beer. Walking in Memphis, but do I really feel the way I feel? Okay,
Hmm.
so finally, like the last 25% of that, I felt myself get comfortable in the song. Did that come through to
Mm.
you also? Okay,
Yes. Yeah.
okay.
I also heard you doing some really fun, creative, um, just expressive things like the little growly
Yeah,
moment, which I think is so great.
good.
Really, really fun hearing that you're like personalizing it more.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really, really fun. How
I feel
did
like
you
that.
feel? It definitely sounded a little more relaxed to me.
Yeah, I feel like I wish that maybe I don't know. I wish I could sing
Hmm.
without knowing you were going to hear it. So you could hear, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to break this. I mean,
Could we, so maybe this week, could you record yourself practicing and just do it like for yourself?
yeah,
But then I want you to, you're gonna you're not always going to send it to me. All right. So
Okay.
you're going
I'll send you the good
to,
ones.
yeah. So what you're going to do is, so you never know if you're going to send it to me or not. Maybe you don't
Okay.
send any of them, right? But every time you practice, I want you to record it. And then if you feel like, oh, I'm really proud of myself for this one, I like this one, or there's something I feel like you should hear and maybe you should work on this, then send it to me. So when
Okay.
you're initially recording it, you're just recording it for yourself to reflect back on. But then if there's one that you're like, I want to share this, then forward that to me. Yeah?
Okay. That works for me. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Perfect. Alrighty. Sounds good. Okay, so what would you
Right.
say is your number one takeaway today?
Hmm. Number one takeaway. Uh, I don't know. I think I feel like I have to do two. One is I'm definitely still holding back. I really felt like actually there for like 5 lines. I felt comfortable singing,
Nice.
and I felt like it sounded better to me when I was
Cool.
comfortable. So I feel like getting comfortable is my number one goal for sure. Uh, and that'll be my takeaway is how to do that. But I think the other takeaway is probably how it feels. Uh, I think I'm the that right. I think
Mm-hmm.
that made me realize that I should probably be using more air when I sing. Like once you told me to get rid of all my air, I felt like it was way easier to do that all the way through and like actually
Mm.
control like going down the scale versus like jumping down.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe having like a constant steady airflow, better like constant airflow will help me stay
Mm.
where I want to be.
Yes. Excellent. Really good reflections. Love it. I think you definitely are on the right track and I think you know how to be practicing this week. So I
Yes,
think it's good to wrap up there for today.
sounds good.
Nice work today. This was awesome. Good work today,
Yeah,
Aaron.
thank you. I so I'm thinking so I'll be gone next week, so I can't do next week.
Okay.
But
So,
um,
no Saturday and no during the week next week.
maybe a virtual one during the week.
Oh, okay. All right. So no Saturday for sure, and
Yeah,
then maybe during the week. All right.
yeah,
Cool.
because
So
I'll
we'll
be up
just
in Early Coast. So
yeah,
I'll
we'll text and figure it
okay,
out.
that sounds good.
Alrighty, sounds good. I just put a note to myself to just like remind me to maybe reach out about that.
Okay,
If I don't remember, you can text me too.
I'll text you for sure. Yeah,
Okay, sometimes I'll like text myself and be like, "Do this,"
yeah,
because
I
I
do that too.
forget.
Or I'll text Heather and I'll be like, hey, remind me.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
that's. I mean, it's actually really nice that you have that. You have a
yeah.
partner
We
that
do it
does
to
that
each
for you.
other, and then
Mhm.
really like the act of texting is like, oh well, I remember sending you that text now. So
Right. Yeah, like writing something down or like
yeah,
it's like, okay, now it's really in my head, you know?
yeah, yeah. All right.
All right. Awesome work
Thank you.
today. I'll see you soon, okay?
Okay. Bye. Have a good
Bye,
day.
Aaron. You